scales. Free agency has been an arduous process for some of baseball's best on the open market. J.D. Martinez did his fair share of waiting on his deal with the Red Sox, and it had everything to do with the money. After it was officially announced today, though, Martinez said he was never worried.
There were times, obviously where you thought about it a little bit, but the good thing is that, we talked to Scott and, I trusted my talent. I knew what I could do, and I knew, what I bring to the table, and kind of just helped me just relax a little bit more. But, there were times where he thought about it, but at the end of the day, it's part of the negotiations, part of the process type deal. But, I'm here now, and I'm ready to get it going.
Martinez joins a Red Sox team that is one of the favorites in the American League. 4 AL teams have a 5-1 or better chance to win the pennant. Right now, the Astros are the favorites at 5-2, followed by Cleveland, the Yankees, and Red Sox. First Take rolls on now.
Forced that one up. Bodies falling on the floor. Westbrook still down the other end.
You've had a couple run-ins with Zaza. Do you think he's a dirty player?
Yeah.
And Adams has become a real force as Anthony and Durant get face-to-face, nose-to-nose. The officials breaking them up. Curry gets rid of Adams, drives inside, scoop layup. Here's Durant on the drive, gets inside, left-handed off the glass. Anthony pull-up, jump shot, in and out. George has to fire it up. You cannot defend any better than that. Mama said there'd be days like this. A spectacular second half by the defending champs.
OKC won the first 2 meetings, but the Warriors squashed that a chippy, spirited 32-point win on Saturday night. Max, I'll start with you. Does this game say more about OKC or Golden State?
Golden State, because you blink. You blink with Golden State, and a close game becomes a blowout. And the reason is they have 3 of the best offensive players, let alone shooters, in the league. Obviously in Steph and KD and Klay Thompson. And even Draymond Green, as a result of those guys, shoots, nowadays we're numb to it. Remember when Kevin Love would shoot like 35, 36% from 3, and we're like, oh my God, a big who can do that? What about Draymond Green? It's just ridiculous. It's unfair. As I mentioned, this is Kenny Smith's point, halftime a couple days ago, Steph Curry, Stephen A., you called him correctly, greatest shooter of all time. A mobile artillery unit, Steve Nash 2.0. You can't double him. He never gets doubled. It's just ridiculous. And what you saw is against another, I think it's fair to say the Thunder are a Western Conference powerhouse, at least potentially. You blink, game over. It's like the Coyote and the Roadrunner, Stephen A. Remember, the Coyote was fast, like the Thunder, like he was good. He could almost catch the Roadrunner, and then the Roadrunner shows you, Mimi, he was playing with him. Gone. Cloud of dust. That's Golden State.
Well, I don't disagree with you, but my focus is on OKC, and here's why. Credit to you because you were talking about the explosiveness of the Golden State Warriors, which we all knew, but you stated it, and that was that. I looked at OKC, and I tried to give them some credit. Paul George is a star. Paul George has been playing like a star. I get it. But, boy, did he pick a bad night to have a bad night. 1 for 14 shooting, absolutely anemic. Nothing would fall. That happens. But it wasn't as simple as that. When you take into account anybody from a Klay Thompson to a Draymond Green to a Kevin Durant, even to a Sean Livingston or an Andre Iguodala, it's not just that they're going to help in terms of doubling. The length that they have on the defensive end of the floor is incredibly formidable, which means that it calls upon your stars to play like stars. Now, Zsa Pachulia contributing to Russell Westbrook going down, no doubt contributed to their demise. This is a 5-point game, and then the next thing you know, they exploded once Russell Westbrook was out. But you have to also take into account the fact that OKC really didn't have anything other than their big 3. You had guys on the court who could do absolutely nothing offensively. And Golden State doesn't have that problem. And guess why? I'm not even talking about the starters. Of course, Steph Curry's obvious. Kevin Durant's obvious. Klay Thompson's obvious. What about Swaggy P. Nick Young? I don't think people have recognized what this dude can give you off the bench in this system for this team. It makes them incredibly formidable. If you're OKC, you got to be able to do one or two things. You got to be able to get some production from somebody other than your big 3, or you have to be able to defend. And what I saw was a team that could really go at Golden State, particularly with the big three. That was not the case Saturday night. Without Russell Westbrook, they were lost souls. Now, chances are you're not going to be without Russell Westbrook, so we'll see. But I certainly expected more from them. But in the blink of an eye, it went from a competitive game to an annihilation. And I'm literally talking, Max. All I did was go into my kitchen and make me a cup of hot chocolate. All right.
No cereal?
And Max, I came back and it went from 5, no crunch berries, just a hot chocolate. It went from 5-point deficit to a 24-point deficit when all I did was go to grab the hot chocolate that I had left in the kitchen and then walk back. I'm trying to tell you, it was that damn quick.
Look,
I couldn't believe it. That's what
said,
happens, and that's the problem.
The Coyote was fast. Sometimes you saw that you say, Coyote's fast. Coyote can dust a lot of other desert animals, I'm sure, right? But when the Roadrunner thinks he's getting close, meep, cloud of dust, he's gone. Now, I will say this. Kawhi Leonard in the playoffs, he was on the floor, and they were beating the brakes off of Golden State. And then suddenly Kawhi Leonard wasn't on the floor, and that was the end of the series. So does Russ Westbrook's presence or absence affect whether or not Golden State can go on a run? Of course it does. Of course it does. But I do think Golden State's capable of going on those kind of explosive runs no matter who's on the floor. They just shoot the ball too well.
Golden State and then everybody else. Gentlemen, when we come back, Des Bryant, one of the more controversial players in the NFL, but find out what he said that might not sit well with fans of America's team like Stephen A. Smith. D'Angelo Williams will be back for that. And the Rockets win their 12th straight game, but it's James Harden news from off the court that caught our attention. We'll explain when First Take rolls on.